Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Happy month end. How's everybody doing? Alrighty. What do we got here? And hello, folks joining us on YouTube. Good morning. Hey, you 777. Welcome to the room. What's up, Raj? Spring in the Netherlands? Nice. Yeah, even in north of England it's starting to get nice here. Alrighty, let's get down to it. What do we got here? Hey, Luis, how are you? Bom dia, bom dia. What's up, Hayden? Hayden, sorry. Christian, how are you? Oh boy. It's been a slow, choppy move up in the overnight. Now, yesterday, when at the end of the day I said, look for a backfill, and that's exactly what we got, came down here to that 69.41 area, found the bid, really thick profile here. Now, remember, folks, that overnight inventory is 100% short. Okay, which means every single trade has been underneath yesterday's close. Hey, Cheerio, welcome. Welcome, welcome. Good morning. So that's why we're getting this move up. So yesterday we had a big short squeeze, right? A lot of people got trapped. And I said, at the end of the day, I said, look for the market to backfill in the overnight to let the shorts go and grab some cheap supply. And that's exactly what happened, right? We did not take out yesterday's low. And remember, we have a gap here. So that's a big short position. Today is month end. So the initial move will probably take us and test yesterday's close. And if that doesn't happen, we're going to come right back down. Right now, I don't know what's going to happen with month end. I'm just taking a look at how's Leather Jacket Guy's deal doing here. Sorry. Video. You know, it's amazing. You know how I draw where the sellers are going to be on a 1 minute chart? Well, guess what? It's the same thing on a daily. Right? So our high is 198.99. I had 198.99. You know, it's amazing how we came right to that level and stopped, right? You know, that's where the sellers stepped in, and now we're back down. You're looking for 196.01 on the downside. No, today is month end because equities trade T+1, right? Which will soon change to same day settlement. But if you sell 1,000 shares of Microsoft today, you get the money tomorrow. Tomorrow is market maker month end because they have to provide liquidity. But all all institutions mark the market T plus one. So today is month end. Tomorrow is market maker month end. And that's why you'll see a lot of these stocks moving higher. It's month end short covering. It's a very, very common occurrence. Anyone who is short during the month, they start taking back and covering their short positions. Right? And we need to just be aware of that. If you're going swing long, remember next week it's a new month. So let's see if that month-end short covering translates into real buying. Okay? So something to remember. What do I think happened with the CME halt? I have no clue. It's probably, they say it's a technical thing. It could be, strangely enough, Luis. I mean, let me put on my tinfoil hat for 2 seconds here. There could have been some margin problem. I don't know. It was a technical issue according to them. So I won't go down the rabbit hole. If they say it's a technical problem, we'll believe them, right? But like last month end, they mysteriously raised margin on silver futures. Quelle surprise. Big surprise, right? Hey, remember these things are SROs, right? If you don't know what an SRO is, Google it. All right, what are we going to do? How are we going to trade this? Well, I'm going to let the market open and see where the bids come in. Being that it is month end, I have a certain way of doing business at the end of the month. And that way of doing business is really focusing on taking really good trades where the business reason is so obvious that it reaches out and slaps you in the face. So there's no guessing, I wonder if this will work, and maybe we'll try this, and some idiot on YouTube said that. Right? So let's break this down. The inventory. You guys all know what inventory is, right? Right? If you don't join our trading room, we'll teach you, right? And if you don't know what inventory is, I don't know how the hell you expect to make any money in this business, right? You got to know what inventory is because you're buying and selling it. So come into our trading room, we'll teach you, right? It's $19 a month, little ad for it. It's the best trading room for the money that you're ever going to find on the internet because we'll teach you no BS. This is where you take the trade. This is where you put the stop. And this is where you get out if things go wrong. And we train you that way. So you're not stuck like a deer in the headlights when things go bad, right? So overnight inventory is still 100% short. The cost basis of the overnight is still down here at 69.49. So all of the inventory is priced here, and we are distributing it up here. Now, if I drag this candle chart over, you'll see that on a candle chart that we are distributing over VWAP, right? We are distributing over VWAP the product that we bought underneath VWAP, right? That's how markets work. You buy cheap inventory and sell it at a profit, right? That's how business works, right? The chart you are looking at, my friends, is a sales chart, and it's telling you how sales are going. Well, sales were going pretty good until we got to 69.70, and we ran out of buyers, and we had to put it on sale a little bit. Now, as we come down, we're going to look at that 69.61 and 3/4 in this area here. Let's see if we catch a bid like we're catching right now and start moving higher, right? So everything that we teach you in this trading room of ours is tactical, which means there's a reason that things happen. None of this stuff at all none of this is random, right? And yeah, that Globex low, where is it? The Globex low is 69.41, right? And you could see this is where people got trapped short yesterday. E, F, G, H, I. All these half-hour bars, that's where everybody got caught short, and that's where the overnight low is. So in the normal market, we would come back and test that overnight low and take out these stops. But let's see what happens when the market opens, right? If you know, you know. Yeah, I don't know what happened to that little monkey. What was that guy? He said, oh, the market's going to crash. If you know, you know. And then I had to shut him up. Oh. And then, of course, the market went 30 points higher after he said it was going to crash. Oh. What's up, James Trade? Good, 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 good. See how simple it is? I'm in Liverpool right now. I'm visiting the great city of Liverpool. Yeah, we could always fade guys like that, you know? Who was that one guy on Twitter? He's actually a real trader. He says, there's always one guy in the office who's wrong, and every time he says go long, they go short, and every time he says go short, they go long. They just fade him, and it works every time. Uh, it's too simple. The thing is, James, markets have been around a lot longer, right? Think about, I don't know if you guys are old enough to remember Windows 95, but that's when the majority of the good software started being developed. Because before, when we had like Windows 3.1, the graphing programs were just crap, right? You know, I remember getting my first cable modem around 1994. You know, the speed was just amazing compared to dial-up. And that's when things started changing. But markets have been around a lot longer since before 1994. How the hell did people trade with no charts? You know, no bookworm, no nose prints, all that crap you guys think you need. None of that stuff existed. So how did people trade? If I gave you a 15-minute delayed time in sales, would you be able to trade without any charts? Probably not. Right? Simple is good. You know why simple is good, James? Because when the pressure is on, a simple plan will survive. A complex plan will fold like a house of cards. You go and put pressure in complexity, and it happens every time. Look at, I mean, I'll go back to 1997, long-term capital. You had a bunch of math wizards running the thing, and when stuff started going down, they all panicked and almost took down the U.S. economy. Right? Now, I got nothing against math people or anything like that. Some of them are my best friends. But you have to have a bit of street smarts and a little bit of understanding in order to trade, right? You got to understand a little bit about the business. You don't have to understand, where's Hex? What is it? Cosine wave market algorithms. You don't need to understand all that. But you need to understand where the sellers are engaging and where's a good place for you to go and buy some supply, right? I was a trader when LTCM happened. Indeed, I was. And I remember they shut down the entire market and sent us home. And I was like, we're going to have a job tomorrow? And they're like, well, we're not sure. Show up and see. Yeah, that was something else. No comment. And that's the best thing you've said all week, Hex. How's your streak going, brother? Oh, let's see where we open and decide from there. There's no trade right here. Ah, it's okay now. Now the pressure's off. Now you can get back to work. Right? Hey, Robert J., welcome to the room. Welcome, everyone. And all the new people, just so you know, tomorrow at 11 o'clock Eastern, I'll put it in here. Tomorrow I'll be doing a 101 on the concepts and fundamentals. Ah, thanks, Nathan. Yeah, I haven't done a 101 in a while. So we got some new members and definitely have some old members who need refreshing. It's always good to get back to basics, when we start a new month or before we start a new month. Let's see. So the forecast is choppy off the open. What do you guys think? Yeah, our AI has been trained. Our AI has been trained, so it's not like ChatGPT where it just goes and like vacuums up information from anywhere. Um, I don't know how it ranks stuff, but our stuff has been trained from people who actually are in the business. Hey, Badir, how you doing? Yeah, let's see what happens. I have no idea what's gonna. That's the beauty about month end. You never know really what's gonna happen. So yeah, I haven't really. I just opened up my trading software like about an hour ago. I haven't traded at all today, and I didn't barely traded yesterday. I, I just, I can't believe I lost 44 pounds by going carnivore, right, and doing fasting and all that stuff. I ended up getting gout in my big toe. It hurts like hell. So, from eating too much red meat or whatever the hell it is. So I don't trade when I'm not feeling well, and I haven't. I've just been like off, and I was just laughing at how the hell did I get into this situation now? Oh, old age is brutal. I don't know. I went to the doctor and they prescribed something for me, so hopefully that take gets rid of it. Vitamin C. Oh, thanks. Okay, I'll get some of that too. Yeah, no donuts, Raj. No donuts. Do we have any news today? Thanks, Chab. Jobless claims, we chewed through that. We got a Fed speaker. Cool. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Thanks, Truth. It is painful. Yeah, employment claims already happens. Hey, Leslie, how you doing? How you feeling? Oh, all right. You still coughing, eh? Okay, let's see if we can get down to these 69.60s. So people who are just joining us, I'm kind of quiet because I'm just seeing where, like I could see the sellers, they were here, they were here, they were here. And inventory is short, but we're kind of running out of buyers over 65, so marking it down a little bit, putting it on sale. So today the rule of month end is don't take crazy trades. Make sure that when you do take a trade that you have a valid business reason for doing so, right? No FOMO or any of that nonsense, right? Make sure you have a good business reason to take the trade. Make sure that you're sized. I would keep your size down on a day like this. It's always smart to keep trade size and duration low on month end, just so you can manage your risk with size. If you've had a good month, do yourself a favor and wire yourself some money, right? So you don't get your greedy little paws after it. Oh, the spike after the close, that was Nvidia earnings. Hex. Real simple. That last half hour from 4:30 to 5, and Nvidia earnings were there, and the inventory was underneath us, so they just railed it. Bunch of short covering came in because the next day is month end, right? And so everybody just went, just rushed to cover, right? It's a non-event now because we're completely underneath it. Hey, Anne Marie, how are you? Yeah, it's always good, month end, year end, quarter end, end of the day, end of the week. That's all about protection, right? The last thing you want to do is push things when you've got money, right? There's no such thing as house money in this business, eh, guys? Just so you know, that's a big fallacy. There's no such thing as house money, right? You do a job, you expect to get paid for it, right? This isn't Vegas. Thank you for being with us, Anne Marie. Really appreciate it. There we go, a little bit lower, huh? Yeah. Let's go see if there's any buyers down at VWAP, or if we can get to VWAP right now. They're front running VWAP right here. Right. This area here between VWAP and the bottom of those candles. Those are a bunch of unfilled buy orders here that are holding the market up. Right. Okay. Yeah, the worst is giving back all the money you made in the month. It's got to be the worst feeling in the world. Let's avoid that. So as we come in, oh, we're open. There we go. We're going to go find the bid right down at VWAP. Let's see if we get a bid at VWAP. If we don't get a bid at VWAP, you'll be looking at 52 on the bottom. I'm long 56 and I'm out at 58. 56 quarters, sorry. And I got rid of it at 58 and one at 57 and 3/4. Not the greatest trade. And we're dropping into the 52 1/4 here. I'm in quite a bit of pain, so I'm just going to trade the micro. In case I screw up, I don't want it to be bad. Got to protect the month, right? There's that overnight point of control. Right, let's see if we get up over 52. Right. I went long off the point of control and sold 52. Just, once again, just scalping micros. I'm missing the short, so I take the responsive long. See how we came right to the cost basis of the overnight right there? Found the bid. Now we're going to go up to VWAP, and let's see if there's a seller there. There's a seller. Let's see where we bid again. Wait for the next candle. I might miss it here. I'd like it to look below and fail 52 again, but I might not get that chance. Nice work, Fleer. Nice work. It's all you need, right? Couple of points a day. Keeps you in carburetor parts. And a little bit of chop here between VWAP and 52. Wait for it. Wait for it. There's 52 1/4. Do we come back up? If we don't come back up, don't go long. Don't go long until we come back up over 52 1/4. Right? You know there's going to be a seller somewhere at that 54 level. So manage your expectations. Give it a little bit. Give it a little bit. Sellers under 52 1/4. No long yet. Right, and that's the hard thing is waiting. See, you could see there's a seller at 52. If you went and rewound that, as soon as we got it to 52 1/4, they knocked it back down. that is a signal not to go long, right? If you're going short, your stop will be at the top of that candle. And you'll put some bids down at 49. Here we go. Come on. Damn, it's sticky on the way down. Sticky, sticky. Can you get a 49 fill? I don't think so. Not yet. Come on. Sell it like you stole it. Come on. Oh, no. See, and everyone's wondering what inventory is. You see how we stopped at the overnight POC to the tick, and we're not having much luck getting underneath it? It'll probably crack it now, right? If we get some size, right? We'll come down to 47. Come on. Oh. So many shorts covering that every time it comes down, the offer lifts. Comes down, the offer lifts. Comes down, the offer lifts. See? There's that short cover. Oh, sorry, Nathan. I didn't see your question. I was staring at the price. How do you know when short covering is going to happen? Short covering is they're always the first buyers. It's really simple, Nathan. Short sellers are always the first people to buy, right? Except in a market where they ban short covering, right? Sticky prices are really a pain in the butt, right? Short covering, now, Nathan, you came into the room, right? We're going to discuss that tomorrow when we do the 101. I will show you how a low is created. And what happens is, first, the shorts come in and cover because they're the ones who have the least risk, right? They're closing a trade and they're going to buy size. Then wholesale longs buy on top, and then we buy on top. And then the shorts who shorted here averaged up. When they go to cover, then you get that big green candle up that you guys have seen. But it's always the same sequence. The first people to buy the lows are the smart money shorts, right? And they have to cover size. So they're coming in there to cover 1,000, 5,000, 2,000 contracts, and they provide that stability. When that stability is seen by the market makers build a little position, and they're selling. They will sell, right? Because they'll run 1,000 contracts through a tick, right? Now let's see. We're going to get more short covering down here. And as soon as the shorts see a big seller, Nathan, they will drop their buy orders. They'll drop their buy orders really quickly, right? They'll drop their buy orders so fast it makes your head spin, right? Let's see if we get a look below and fail of 47.5. If we can't break back up over 47.5, look for the overnight low to be tested. See, this is short covering right here, right? Boom! Nice little short cover. There is a seller at 47, 48, right? So now you know that there are going to be sellers up here, right? If you're long, right? If we get over 48, then we'll see some upside. But you can see the sellers are right there. Wait for the next candle, right? You want to see, typically you want to see a bit of size come in here, right? Oh, backfilling always happens first. Because the size sellers, when the price goes up and then they run out of buyers, the size sellers automatically start putting the price on sale. That's a backfill. So a backfill is a rejection, kind of. It's a type of rejection, right? There we go. There we go. Long 48. Long 48. Selling up here at 49.5, 50, right? That was that candle I was waiting for. That's when the shorts who were short under 47, they all came to cover at the same time. Hey, Taco, what's going on? All right. So a backfill is a rejection of price. And the large size sellers automatically put it on sale. So if you're long again, right, you know there's going to be a seller right here at 51, right? We're kind of going to go back and forth here. The big shorts are all waiting here. They're like alligators underneath the surface of the water, all waiting for that overnight low to break. If it doesn't break, they're going to jump up into our boat and grab the supply because it's month end and they got to cover size, right? And see when you mark where the sellers are, look how accurate that is. Right? These markets, this is the thing. Old traders hate algorithms. I love algorithms. I have no idea how the hell they work, but I do know one thing. They're extremely precise. So you can manage your risk and you can manage your exits really, really well. So if I was long 48, 49 again, I know to be a seller at 51, right? And if I had a runner, I'd sell some at 52. But if I was long 48 on 3 contracts, I'd be very happy to get out at 51, make 3 points on 3 contracts, pay my phone bill, right? What's the name when long backfills? It's called a backfill. You take a market up to create demand, and then you go back and fill in that demand with supply. That's how you distribute size. You got to understand that the large traders who are long, they're trading thousands of contracts, right? So they need to distribute those contracts, right? So if they have a cost basis, down here, right, they'll sell it all the way down to cost basis. Now, sometimes markets go underneath a trader's cost basis, and you need to get rid of your inventory. That's like a store having, they're having a blowout sale. No, longs backfill. Just take the short positions out of that for now, right? Let me give you an example of a backfill, okay? Let's see. We're looking for 43. What a backfill is, say I gave you an order, Cass, to work. I want you to sell 100,000 shares for me through the day, right? And sell them at $5. Okay? At the end of the day, you call me up and go, JJ, I sold 100,000 shares, at 501, 502, right? I'll go, okay, great. Because now you're short 100,000 shares at 502, right? My order. So I'll go, okay, I'm going to sell you 100,000 shares at $4.98. So you make 3, 4, 5 cents on that 100,000 share order. That's called a backfill. That's what I used to do every day. I'd have a market maker work the order for me, and at the end of the day, he'd call me and say, listen, I'm short 200,000 shares at $6. I'll go, great, I'll sell you 200,000 shares at $5.97. So now that guy, for working that order, has made 3 cents on 200,000 shares through the day for me. So I just gave him 6 grand for working that order. If he works 20 or 30 orders for my firm or my desk, that's how these guys, my market makers, would make $4 million a month off of our order flow. So we hit the overnight low to the tick, couldn't take it out. Let's see if it breaks now. Right? And that's how business is done. That's how market makers make their money. One way that they make their money. Right? Because all the, in the old days, E-Trade, Ameritrade, Scottrade, all those orders would go to a place like Citadel or Knight Securities. And those guys would know that I had the stock up in Canada. So they knew that they could sell all day and then come to me at the end of the day and I would backfill them. Right? So a lot of these guys would make, off of me and my clients, they'd make 20, 30, 50 grand a day off of us. Right? It's not bad money. Oh, for that 100,000 shares, we paid 0.001 cent for it. Okay, here we go, taking out the overnight low. Yeah, when you guys are buying stock at $5, we own it a lot cheaper. We own it a lot cheaper because we took the company public. I worked for a company in Canada that's no longer around. And what we did was we were the distributor. It's always a good profit. The real money in the market is made by doing deals, not by trading. Right? That's how you make 50, 100, 200, 300 million dollars in a week. In a week. Right? You do 100 million dollars a day and you sell 30 or 40% of that, you're making 30, 40 million a day for your clients. That's what I used to do. I'm a distributor. I'm Larry the Liquidator. Now, I would not go long until we get back up over 41, ladies and gentlemen. So here's a good example of yesterday, we had a hell of a short squeeze. We got a gap down here, right? Let's see if we can get in and fill that gap, right? Let's see if we can get down to the previous day low. Yeah, that's how people make big money. They make big money by taking companies public. Yeah, long 41, sold them at 42 and a half, 42 and 3/4. Yeah, not the greatest trade. Right? That's all about connections. That job doesn't exist anymore. Well, it does, but there's very few people who do it. Because deals are not done by individuals anymore. They're run by small hedge funds, and hedge funds trade proprietary. Sorry, they trade prime. So they have prime brokerage desks that work their orders. So for you to have that job, you would have to get a job on a prime desk, which is pretty hard to do these days. And now everything's algorithms and math, right? There's not physical people answering the phone and doing calls like that. That's very rare. Oh, look below and fail of 69.38, but we do have sellers at 40.41, so here's where I want to see where the bid comes in. This is where I want to see where the big buyers come in. There's a bit of size between 38 and 40, right? You can see it there on the TPO chart, right? You can see it right here. Let's see if we can get that point of control, which is 3,300 contracts. Can we get that down here and show good absorption? Right? If we get back up over the overnight high, you're going to have sellers here at 44, and you're going to have sellers at 46. Yeah. Right? That's 2 times discount. So there's a bit of a bounce at 2 times discount. So if people are joining us, why do I have this? This is the cost basis here. This is how much I calculated where people paid for their goods. This is the 2 times profit zone, and this is the 2 times discount. That's why it's kind of pausing here. This is the 4 times discount, right? So if we break, I would look for a look below and fail of 19, right? And right here, it's choppy, so I'd leave it alone. Large traders, if you're building a long position, your out is 36, right? If you're building a position here between 37 and 39, looking to sell it at 42, 43, right? You want to add and subtract contracts as 36 occurs, right? Yeah, time is a good thing, right? Time is a good thing. Is my strategy codable and able to run through Monte Carlo simulations? I have no idea. But if you can do that, I would invite you to DM me, right? Because it's the business, right? It's just inventory and cost basis, so it's got to be codable, right? I have no idea how to code. I skipped grade 11 computer science. So, And that was in like 1984. And we had Commodores. So I don't know anything about writing code. And I don't know what a Monte Carlo simulation is. But if you reach out to me, you're in the room now, just DM me and we'll talk and maybe we can help. We also have some math guys in our room. We've got a couple of quants, right? And they might be able to help you with that. So reach out to them, Nathan, right? I'm an old guy, so, I don't know anything about writing code. But there are people in our room, like we've got an ex-quant, a Wall Street guy who used to work at a hedge fund. Where is Mikey? Mikey, you around? And he's always trying to code something. I don't know anything about coding. There's got to be some way to do it, Truth, because the whole business relies on it, right? The thing is, guys, if you actually understood how the business works, the ambiguity wouldn't be there. It's just where the volume is. Because the business runs the business runs algorithms based on what I'm teaching you guys. I know that, right? The market makers all have algorithms that run on exactly what I'm telling you. I just don't know how it works. So you guys figure that out. Yeah, we've got coders, right? We got really smart 0 and 1 guys in our room. So I would say please reach out to them, right? And maybe you guys will be able. Yeah, they have a lot of money too, right? They have huge budgets, right? I'm long 41 and I'm selling 43. I'm sold. There's got to be a way to do it. I have no clue, right? I'm willing to learn. Well, you guys could teach me and hopefully I understand. You know what? We should ask the AI coach. Groove with the AI. Exactly. Business reason is simple, right? What happens is an order will take the market underneath the level. Once that order is complete, the market will rotate back up to find sellers. It's really simple. Did I spell Al? It should be AI. I like to wait. Sometimes I miss the trade, right? To be fair, a lot of times that I miss the trade if I'm not dialed in, right? I got to be, that's the thing with retail trading. You got to be really, really dialed in, right? You got to be on it, especially in a faster market, right? So sometimes, like, I remember when I had the flu, right? I was really slow and I was missing stuff. So I would just like, okay, I just trade Globex and I didn't even try and trade RTH. It is, Howard. That's why you got to do those trades. You got to put in the reps, Howard. And you're doing well. You're doing well. Keep up the good work, man. Keep up the good work. You've come a long way. Ah, welcome TBDRAMDM. Uh, I did a video yesterday. And tomorrow I'm doing another class at 11. Oh, that's you, Nathan. I'm just going to change your name to Nathan. It's, otherwise, I'm going TBDRADAM. Yeah, you know, RTH, it's a faster market, right? So you got to be really really on it. And I mean, and a lot of these trades I'd screw up, years ago when I was learning how to do this. And it's really a skill where you have to develop your execution speed, learn your software really well, so you can get in and out quickly. That's really really key. The key sequence of putting in orders, that's really important. You know, um, all of those things count. Speed counts, right? And that's why I like to train traders to be quick. The quicker you are, it's not that you can take a lot of trades. The quicker you are, the quicker you can get out of bad situations. You know. Okay, so overnight inventory was short, but we didn't get a move up, so we do have some selling. That's good. I'd love to see us take out yesterday's low and go tickle the gap and see what's in the gap. That would be really good. It would be nice and healthy to fill that gap today. Not that I'm not making any promises, but it would be very healthy to fill that gap on month end. It'd be healthy for the market. Oh, back up to the overnight low. Watch out if we get accepted over 44, folks. We'll probably tickle our way up to 47. Still haven't moved the point of control down, so once again, just relax. Oh, I had a lot of bad habits. Not retail bad habits. I had institutional bad habits. See, when you control the order flow and you control the supply, you think you can do no wrong. So when I started retail trading, right, I was sloppy, right? I was very sloppy, right? And I didn't have discipline. For example, people would go, "Hey JJ, what's your favorite setup?" And I would say, "Oh, the FBI agent posing as a fund manager. That's my favorite setup." And people would look at me like, "What the hell are you talking about?" Right? But I didn't even know what a trade setup was, right? So it took me a while to establish discipline. It really took me a long time to get discipline and trading method. And the other thing was, I was from a time where, like we had bad habits because we would be like, "Oh, okay, I lost 5 grand. I'll just get this market maker to take the trade off me because I made him 30 grand today. He'll take a 5 grand loss from me, no problem." Really, really bad money management that way, right? You just do dumb things. No, you don't have setups when you have clients. You work orders. It's a completely different business, right? It's a completely different business. There's no such thing as a setup. There's like you need to sell 5 million shares of a stock over a week, and you work with market makers. They show you buy orders, and you sell them stock. And that's working out a position. It's completely different. It's very different than retail trading. It's not at all the same. It's a completely different business. It's a completely different business. Exactly. That's exactly what it's about. It's trying to fill your client orders before he screams and rips off your face. Okay, the point of control moved down. Uh, if a client has a buyer coming in and they're going to be the seller and you miss that trade, the guy's out $500,000, $1 million because of your ineptitude. Um, doesn't really go. It doesn't really work well. Yeah, like they say, go sell 500,000 shares today, right? So that's what you do. All right, folks, we're waiting for this thing to drop into the yesterday's low. Oh, B period's opening up. Let's see. Let's see where the buying comes in. I'm looking for 69.30, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, so say you have like 30 clients. Like one calls you up, sell 500,000 shares of this. The other one's like, go buy 200,000 shares of this. Work this order. Work this price. Get, and then you're manipulating the level to accomplish what you need to do. Am I a lucky trader? No, man. I'm skilled. I'm skilled and I'm humble. That trumps luck every day. All right, we're in the gap. Let's go see. The gap fill is down here at 12 3/4. Good stuff, Jam. Good stuff. No, I never depend on luck. Luck is really not a business plan, is it one? Like if you go to a bank and you give them your business plan and you say it's based on luck, are they gonna give you money? Does that make sense? Like, does that make sense? Can we see your business plan? You give them a folder and it's got one page. It says I'm lucky. I want a $5 million loan. It's probably not, right? It doesn't really work. What a gap fill means, it gets down to the high of Tuesday, right? Right here. What's your business plan? You hand the guy a four-leaf clover. Just kidding, Juan. I am lucky. I've had good friends, good mentors, good clients, right? But I've worked very hard for that. I didn't take a holiday from 1995 to 2021. So the only time I got a couple of weeks off is when I had a heart attack in 2012. Yeah, what I try and do is I try and teach normal people how to make money. That's my thing, right? That's where I get my kicks is teaching regular people how to make money. You know, I never talked to retail traders before 2012, before my heart attack. I didn't even talk. I never had a client who'd say, "Oh, should I buy Microsoft, JJ?" Right? That I never had that, right? So my clients are like, "I'm sending you 5 million shares. Get rid of it." Right? That's what my clients did, right? Uh, I'm long 30, and I think I'm going to scratch that because my offers aren't getting taken. Uh, no, that's not a bad. That's not a good trade. I'm too early. Too early. Too early. Take it again. Let's see. Okay, long 30, out one at 31, out the other one at 32 and a quarter. Quick scalps. Right? So the trades I like are when I see the market go down and then come back up over a level. That's my thing, right? What made you get out of my business? My heart exploded. And all my partners died. My best friend also passed away. Um, my best friend and business partner. Lost him too. A lot of my friends. How did they die? All sorts of different ways. For ES, I use Amp Futures and Iron Beam. For trading stocks, um, the guys at Lightspeed in New York always treated me well. Um, and then in the old days, I used to have accounts with market makers. Oh yeah, my heart attack was definitely, sleeping 3 hours a night for 20 years. That'll do it. Eating bad food, um, you know, all of that stuff. Yeah. See, you guys are different now, right? See what you guys have mindfulness and yoga and meditation and all that stuff. How we blew off stress was a pack of Marlboro Reds and a bottle of Jack Daniels. I do not use Rhythmic. I use CQG. I use CQG. It's good enough for my needs. It's good enough. I hear a lot of people like Rhythmic, and then a lot of people get mad at Rhythmic. So I don't really know. I don't have any experience with them. You're right. Indeed, I do. I do take a beta blocker. I just took one this morning. I ran out of them and I had to go to the pharmacy to get more. Yeah, I had a quintuple bypass. So I got the zipper. Now, folks, let's see if we can hold that previous day low. Yeah, I was having a heart attack for like 6 hours before my wife finally took me to the hospital. And when I got to the hospital, I coded out. I was dead for about 4 minutes. So they put the jumper cables on me and zapped me back. I think we're going to go underneath. Yeah, we go back underneath the previous day low. Yeah, Chris is a pretty zen guy, isn't he? Love Chris. How do you manage to sleep so little and stay focused? Because there's 300 guys that are going to take your spot, Attila. If you don't answer the phone on the first ring at 3 o'clock in the morning, you're fired. My business card had two things on the back of it: available 24/7, and your secrets die with me. That's why I don't show my face. Thank you, Theo. Appreciate it. All right, let's see if we can get back into yesterday's range, ladies and gentlemen. I think we're going to go lower if we can't. It would be healthy, Raj, to fill that gap. It would be healthy to fill it on month end. Right? You know me, I like liquidation, right? I hate it when markets go straight up and never come back down because it makes the price action really crappy. After you get a good sell off, you get much better price action. But you can see that there's a seller at 29 and a half, right? Like every time we get down up to 29 and a half, it's like Rodman hitting the basketball down, right? It'd be very healthy. Oh boy. See, there's so much short covering in this gap. That's why it's moving so slow. Here we go. So if you're short off the 29s, right, a lot of people will short the previous day low, put their stop right above it. Just use my levels to put bids into cover. Here we go. These are old single prints from yesterday's overnight session. I'm just curious. I left them there, just curious to see if they provide any support. And we're basically in 4 times discount. If we break 19, we'll go into 8 times discount. Hey, what's up, Travis? How you doing? Are you still up in the north? Hey, Martin, how are you? Oh, we're catching some bids, getting back over that previous day low. If we can hold this little round balance here, you'll get this. Back in Sweden. Oh, cool. Let's see if we can stay in that previous day low. If you are long 30, 31, there's going to be some sellers up here at 33, 34. So take advantage of that and sell into that strength, eh? Don't know yet, Martin. It's month end. It's month end, so anything can happen, right? Anything can happen on month end. Yeah, sorry, Jam. Oh my God. Well, at least I can walk. We used to always joke about gout. I can't believe I actually got it. It should be okay in a day or two. It was so bad 2 weeks ago. I was walking with a cane. Oh my God, that was embarrassing. It's like Fred Sanford. Back down. Yeah, the sellers are still there, my friends. The sellers are still there. This is good. This is healthy liquid. There we go. There we go. There we go. Come on down. You're the next contestant on The Price is Right. Let's see if we get a bid at 19 and 3/4. I'm just curious. The POC is down at 37. Hasn't come down to the 20s yet. This is where they were trapped yesterday in the overnight. There's a little bit of a bid, but nothing really worth talking about. I wouldn't be buying this. Big candle, big order, right? Somebody just got tired of it and just hammered it. What do you know? A little bit of buying. Gap fill is down here, folks, at 13, just under 69.13. So the trade, if you're short, right, say you're short off the 28s or 29s, go put some bids down here, right? Go put some bids down here, and because there's going to be short covering before the gap, right? There'll be a bunch of buyers sitting here. Whoop, sorry. Yeah, big red candle means one big order or a bunch of big orders hit the tape. Everybody just disappears. This is a good, healthy month end. It's letting a lot of people cover their shorts, right? And that's healthy for a market. Markets are supposed to be two-sided. The problem with these markets is when you get a range that goes 80 points in one direction, right? Everybody expects it to keep going. And then the next day it retraces that whole move. So what it does is it wipes out the shorts, then it wipes out the longs, and it wipes out the shorts. It's very hard for people to get their head around, right? So here we're dropping in, right? I'm looking for 13, 12 and 3/4, 13. Here we go. Now, do you guys understand something? Remember last year when we'd have a gap up at month end, we would not fill it at all, right? It would stick for weeks. Gaps filled. Gaps filled. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. There's a point of control here. That's the position. Very healthy. Very healthy liquidation. That's good to see. So that's something different, eh? You guys notice that's something different? Remember we would have gaps that didn't fill for weeks? Remember? Now we filled it the next day. So that's the business has changed, ladies and gentlemen. Right? The business has changed. Make note of that. Right? So, like I said at the beginning of this year, it's going to be a speculative market. The speculative traders are going to be in charge of it. The ranges are going to be really big. So don't oversize your trades and add to them when you're wrong. Right? Admit you're wrong quickly and get out. Otherwise, in 2-3 minutes, you could completely wipe out of your account. Right? Like had we been going long here at 23, 24, right, and we'd be adding to it at 19, 14. By the time you get to 6,900, your account's wiped out, right? Don't even bother, right? If you miss the short, don't worry. They'll sell it down to an area, go sideways, and then you can look to trade that back and forth. Yeah, we went through Tuesday's cost basis like it wasn't even there, right? That's very different than usual, right, Jam? So now you guys know that the business has changed significantly from last year. Because what usually would happen last year is not happening now. So you got to make note of that. Keep. We have sellers. Oh, let's go check in on the coin of bitterness. It's only down $800. Now, longer term, ladies and gentlemen, you could see we're still in this distribution here on a weekly, right? Ah, what is with this stupid... Sorry about the whiteout. You can see we're distributing and we're going back and forth here, right? So taking out that 66.58 is going to be key to further downside. See right here, we're still at 68.89 and 3/4 area, right? Our low is 94. So let's see if we drop in. There's a little bit of cost basis here. We went and sold it and came back down. If we get over 10, would we think for a long? No, what you want to do when you want to look for a long, Michael, right, is just use my levels, right? What I do, I would look for a long here at 81. If the market goes underneath 81 and then comes back up, then I'd look for a long. Right now, there's no sense in looking for a long. Everybody above 69.26 is trapped long over the overnight and yesterday. So there's going to be, and they don't all sell at the same time. Let them sell, let the market sell out. If you miss the short, that's okay. All right? You know, that's okay if you miss the short. Just wait for the long now. This is where dip buyers always get just trampled when, because it's month end, right? Right? It's the end of the month. Large business is taking place. And if you don't understand that business, just sit out of it. And always wait for that A plus setup. Now, what's an A plus setup? We'll talk about that tomorrow too. An A plus setup is a trade that you have run 500 to 1,000 times and you know it like the back of your hand, right? That is a trade that you could talk about for 6 hours. You could talk about all the subtleties of it, right? Hey, Howard, what's going on? Well, see, that's what happens when you leave your desk, right? Everybody dumps the bid. See, it's you got margin call selling from people who are trapped from yesterday, right? Just let them dump, let them sell it, let them sell it. Let's go take a look at a longer time frame chart on profile. Big liquidation, right? Gap fill, and our cost basis is right here. So we're going to probably come into this area and settle in somewhere here. Let them hammer it. Let's see how the other deals are doing. See, look at that NVIDIA right back into that balance. I was telling people look for a look above and fail of 196. So shorting 195, 196, stop above, covering 186. Nice trades, nice trades. See, every trader, right? Markets in turmoil, markets in olive oil. Every trader's goal is to make your money before the end of the month and then just sit and chill, right? That's what your goal should be. I don't want to go 16 times, but I might have to here. Look at C 68.74. Let's see if we catch a bid down here. That'll be at the end of this cost basis of the 24th. There's a little bit of buying here, but don't fall for it. Wait for the market to go sideways. right? Good price exploration lower. Good to see. There's a little bit of a look below and fail of 81. Let's see if that holds, right? This is 8 times discount from yesterday's cost basis. Right? Oh. Nope, no long yet. Those looking for a long, just be patient, folks. Just be patient. Be patient, my friends. Right? No, I'm not. I'm in a lot of pain, Avalon, with my stupid foot. So I made like 20 points scalping, but I was just using the micro. I don't trade heavy on the end of the month. I made my money for this month and I kind of stop. I missed the short. I wasn't really on top of it. I'm in a lot of pain and a lot of discomfort. So when I am, my focus is a little off. So I don't mind missing big moves because I trade for income, right? My perfect scenario, right? My perfect scenario. I remember was it last year when I went to Spain for 3 days and I missed month end completely. It was wonderful. Oh yeah, here we go. Here we go. We caught a bid. Now wait for the next candle because they're going to sell into this one somewhere. There they are, right? I got gout, Moran, from losing 44 pounds and eating nothing but protein. The good thing is I lost 44 pounds. Uh, I don't know about the war, my friend. I don't know anything about the war and that. I just trade the chart. I really try and stay out of the news, right? I really, really stay out of the news because I find I'm somebody who gets biased really easy. Like I get super easily biased if I start reading a bunch of negative news, and I'll miss a lot of good longs, right? Don't worry, Avalon. You'll get better at it. So now let's see if it holds 81. I told you they'd sell into it, right? That's the sell, right? So after a market drops like it has, wait for them to take it back up, and then now you know the seller is here, right? So now you know you're a bit, right? Now you know, right? Let them find, this is an area now where you want to let the big traders work this out. Let the $100 million, $500 million guys and gals, let them work out that low and establish that low before you go putting your money in, right? It's like waiting for the snowplows to clean the streets before you take the car out, right? Let them go and plow. Hey man, you got a 10-point trade. That's a rock star trade. 10 points on one E-mini is what? $500? 10 points on, 3 E-minis is 5 grand, right? So all you got to do is scale that trade, right? And that's a $5,000 trade. There's nothing wrong with that, right? See, they're still selling this thing off. I'll be looking for, let's see, under 68.74, probably around 68, 64, 65. I'd be looking for bids. Right? The ranges are going to be like this for quite a while, ladies and gentlemen. Right? Remember that the market has to reprice its cost basis. That's something that they won't tell you on CNBC or anything. Right? Because it's a new year, we've got to try and shake all of these people out down here before we do this again. That'll improve over time. All right, my friends, that's kind of like it for me today. Thank you so much for being with us. We will see you tomorrow morning at 7:30 in the morning. Gracias, Juan. I'm vwaptrader1 on X. If you have any questions, come join our room. It's only $19. If anyone is interested in lifetime one-on-one coaching, reach out. I am here. I have a program where I work with you for as long as it takes until you're profitable, and that's a one-on-one. Thank you, everyone. Have a great, great trading day, and we will see you tomorrow morning. Be safe out there, okay? Hey, the point of control moved down. So we're starting to see a little bit of absorption. Let's see if that continues, right? Just size down and be smart out there. Thanks, folks. Really appreciate you guys. Love you being here. See you all tomorrow morning. Bye for now.